Champion, welcome back. I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for your feedback for last week. Really, thank you. And please keep sharing to the people that you think that this might help, right? So if you haven't checked it again, last week we talked about how to amplify our vision phase this year. So it can be a vision, it can be a goal, and the principle we talked about can be applied really to anything you want to manifest, right? So that's really powerful, and I really want to. So today's topic, it's even amazing because today is how to ignite your vision, your goals, with basically your why. Why as in W-H-Y, right? So your why, right? So it's really exciting again. So how to ignite your vision with your why. So it's very, very important because as we talked about, at this point we talk about how to have clarity in our vision, how to create picture, how that can generate emotions, right? And if you haven't, please, scroll down and just go back and look at some of the posting I have, and you can look at them. So really, really exciting for me. And today's topic is very powerful because I'm going to talk about something that can change your life, I promise, because it did change mine. Again, what I'm going to talk about is subtle detail, but that can change your life, right? So we're going to be two parts, right? The first part I want to address is here. I'm sure now that, we work on clarifying our vision, our goals, right? So the powerful thing about that is that we did that internal work, that clarifying, adding pictures and all that, right? I assume you've done that. If you haven't, again, please go back. But anyhow, you sure you done it? Okay, I trust you, right? Okay, cool. So now let's look at that. So now we're clear on our vision, right? I'm gonna give a perfect example. For example, my vision this year is basically to have, basically 10,000 people that will be sharing my work, like you now, right now, looking at it. My vision is that, 10,000 people this year will be looking at my contribution that I'm doing. I hope you will be part of this as you're watching this. I hope you'll be helping me sharing that mission that I'm doing, and hopefully I'm helping you and serving you as well, or just reminding you, right? So let's talk about that. So now we have a clear vision of what we want, right? So now this is the thing. The tricky part that I want to remind all of us here is this. The way we are wired is that we have a tendency, our default mode will be to go and look at what we don't have, right? Am I making sense? Right? For example, my example is I want my work to be shared by 10,000, right? This year. So right now, for our brain to survive, in order for us to look at what we want, right? We are wired to look at what is lacking. Am I making sense? So in other words, maybe, I haven't looked yet, but maybe I have about 150 share right now, right? No, 458, right? Yeah, thank you. 458 shared. But my goal is to get to a 10,000, right? And we're in the beginning of the year. So the tendency for me is to look at the 9,600 that I don't have yet, right? And I'm sure you're gonna help me share that, right? But anyhow, so really the way our brain works is like, holy shit, sorry my friend, I still have 9,600 left. So that's really the way we are wired. While instead, it's really a ninja mind tricks. I have to get in a place where I'm just acknowledging the 458 share I have already as of today, right now. Am I making sense? So really that flip is very important, right? It's really so, yes, we want to get to the moon. We're here on Earth, so that's a delta, right? So it's our fallacy, our tendency is for us to look at what we don't have. As you guys remember, last time we talked about how we are frequency, right? We vibrate, right? And how we are electromagnetic field. So if I maintain my vibration in what I don't have, there is a big risk there, right? Because I'm just vibrating what I don't have. Am I making sense? So this is where the brain is tricking us, but we got to go back right into our heart, switch it, say, okay, take a deep breath and ask ourselves, okay, what do I have? Yes, brain, this is what I want, but what do I have right now, right? Because as we remember, we talk about it, right? Because we are electromagnetic field, right? We attract the more of what we're kind of vibrating, right? And as Albert Einstein said, the field is a governing body of matter, right? Again, if you look at an electromagnetic field, look at the field around, it's really that field that moves the matter, right? If you look at, magnetic thing around it, it's not the reverse. It's a magnetic field that moves the matter, right? So if we understand that primacy, right? The primacy that the field direct everything matter, right? So we as electromagnetic field, we want to vibrate what we want, not what we don't want, right? So again, I really do want to insist on this, right? So we want to vibrate what we want, not what we don't have. Am I making sense? So this is really, really very important, because if you think about it, why is that relevant to you? Because as we discussed, emotions are on or off switches. Emotions are on or off switches, right? So you either happy or sad, right? You cannot be happy, sad, right? So it's either one or the other. It's either one or the other, right? So similarly, the way we think about what we have or what we don't have. We have what we don't have, right? So in a way, that's very, very important first step, and I want to just, really emphasize on it, right? So there are many traditions, many ways that people look at this, but I really want to relate, many ways that we can, right? So yes, we got to have that target, that vision. That's very important. That's our North Star. But at the same time, we got to go back to where we are, which is to just take a deep breath and ask ourselves, okay, what do I have right now, right? And to just take another school of thought, one of a great writer, Neil Donald Walsh, the way he talks about it is, he said, gratitude in advance is the most powerful creative force in the universe, right? Again, say gratitude in advance is the most powerful creative force that there is in the universe, right? And people underestimate it, right? One more time, gratitude is the most powerful creative force in the universe, right? This is Neil Donald Walsh. But why am I bringing that up? Because it's kind of just sustaining the idea that when you have gratitude, you are acknowledging what you have, who you are. In fact, I'm just curious, homework today, if you don't mind, please, right after this post, why don't you tell me what's gratitude for you? I'm really curious to hear about your definition of gratitude, right? I would love to hear from you about what that means for you, right? But really, so that's really what I'm trying to say. So when you can come back to that base, that knowing that you have what you need, right? And yes, you need to get to what you want, right? Which is a desire, right? So that's really the first point I really want to emphasize here. It's very, very, very important, my friend, right? So now that leads us to number 2. What is that importance here? We are acknowledging what we have, my friend. You agree? Now the next element that's important is our why, right? And there are many schools of thought, and I don't want us to get hung up on this. But the reason I'm bringing that up is no matter how clear your vision is, no matter all the questions we ask ourselves, the fuel that's going to ignite us while we go toward our vision is our why, right? Is our why. Why do we do this thing, right? And one of my favorite really consultant is Simon Sinek, and if you haven't checked it, it's on TED Talk, and talk about start with why, right? This is an angle that I think he used, in the corporate standing, which makes sense. But really, if you look at it, I think it's really there are many angles really you can look at this. And the way Simon, described it is good enough, but I'm not gonna spend time on that. But really, one angle that I really like that changed my life even before Simon Sinek is this. I'm sure you've heard it one way or another. Is there are two important days in someone's life, right? And I don't care really whatever your belief is or your religious parents, but hear me out here. There are two important days in someone's life. The first day they are born, and the second day they discover what they are born for. And I think the first time I heard this was back in 2008 or 2009, and this was from John Maxwell. I'm so grateful for that. I'm going to repeat this. There are two important days in one's life. The day you are born and the day you find out what you're born for, right? So, you can talk about purpose, whatever it is, but really what it is there is that pull in one's life that make us unique. You see, I'm looking at this, my, fingerprints, like you have, my friends. This is unique. There is no one on this earth that has had the same fingerprint that you are. And there will be no one that will have the same thing. So this is my core belief. We are unique. And we are here to make our difference. That's what I really, really believe. So the homework is for each of us to find that why, right? And when you find it, that vision that you have is just basically a cherish, right? A cherry on your cake, right? It's a cherry on your cake. Because your why is really what's pulling you. It's pulling you no matter what, right? And I want to just share with you my why, right? So you can kind of just get what I'm saying. My vision I talked to you about is basically, grow the company, right? In such a way that people can be helped, right? This year. But you know what my why is? You know what my why is? Is to activate people to bring out their genius. Again, my why is to activate people to bring out their genius, their unique genius, so that together we can elevate, so that together we can build, so that together we can transform our world, right? So that together we can elevate, build, and transform our world, right? Even if it's our own world, it's worth it. But I'm sure as we transform our own world, we transform our community around, we transform our, county around, we transform our city around, we transform the world, right? And really, really, that's really my why is. So anything that I'm doing, I'm always in tune about activating people to bring out their geniuses, right? And why is that important for me? It came out of a pain, right? And as a child, I can remember maybe at till age, I was born in Mali, which is one of the poorest countries, but I can remember till the age of 9 really that I really got my first shoes of sneaker. It doesn't matter, I didn't even feel poor per standards, people will talk about it, but I didn't really care. But really, the reason I'm bringing it up is because my why grew out of that pain, seeing people with an elephant strength, yet running away like if they felt like they're running like a little mouse running away from a cat. Right? Picture of this. You have an elephant that in his mind thinks is a mouse, and he sees a cat and he runs away. Right? So to me, really, that's my why. Because I remember growing up, I didn't know what it was, but I knew deep down my heart that there was something bigger than my current circumstances. My friend, as you're listening to me, I hope you can feel my why. My why stems out of that. So each and every morning, if I can activate myself first, of course. And even if it's one person that I'm able to help activate so they can bring out their unique genius, I feel that my life was worth it. And that's why I'm really doing this, to share it, right? So that, it happened to all of us. And really, that's really part of my story. I'm realizing that I was lucky to travel. What I realized throughout the world is that it wasn't just, a Malian problem, an African problem, or a European problem when I met my wife, or an American problem, right? Is what I realized, it's a humanity problem. And that's why I'm doing this. That's my why. That's my why. To activate people to bring out their unique genius so that we can elevate, build, and transform our own world. I hope you can feel that fire in me, right? So the reason I'm bringing it up, yes, I have a vision to help 10,000 people this year. But you know what? Even if it's one person, I know that even 95 years from now, even if I passed, I will feel fulfilled. I will feel that my life was worth it. So this is not about me. But the reason I'm bringing that up is, so what is your why, my friend? What is your why? Right? And then we can go through that exercise, but there are a lot of work that are done around this, right? So what is your why? So what is one thing, to just help you, gives you a hint? I know we don't have enough time. What is one thing that it really happens from working from your past, right? So what is one thing that pains you, that hurt your heart, or that really hurt you to see, right? What excites you, right? For me, right, I share with you what kind of pains me, but on the other hand, what excites me is seeing people in the passion, seeing people ignited, seeing the fire in people's eyes, right? That excites me, right? So the opposite of that is that pain that I talked about, right? So there are two ways you can go about this. So what excites you? What brings you fire, right? And one clue that to help you find your why is this too. It needs to be connected to contributing. It needs to be contributed, right? I'm repeating that again. It needs to be connected to helping society, people, our humanity. Let's think about that. Contribution is supposed to be connected to your why. That's what moves you. I don't care what you believe in, but we are born in people's hands. You see what I'm saying? And again, we are buried, right? So we come from people's hands. So your why has to be connected in some ways to helping society, people, whatever it is. You tell me, oh, no, I'm this computer geek, whatever it is. Whatever it is, my friend, you're going to design a program, you're going to design something that's going to help move technology, whatever. For what? For a society. Am I making sense? So really, really think about that, right? So what is your why, right? So those are really the two things I want to connect and I want to share with you, right? So again, as a summary, the first part that I talked about is, as we get clarity on our vision, it's important that we focus on what we have, right? As you focus on what we have, we got to connect that. We got to connect that to our why. Why? Because every morning when you connect to that why, no matter what happened, and it will happen, we talked about that. We're going to have bumpy roads, we'll share. In fact, next week, stay tuned. I'm going to share amazing information with you about some of the bumpy roads we might feel like fear and stuff like that. So really stay tuned. But anyhow, I'm going to end it here. And I hope this serves you, really. So today's homework is two things, right? What is gratitude for you? Feel free to just, give me your feedback down here. And second, find your why, right? Is that overarching reason that pulls you, right? And this is what I call the worth acid test, right? So let's say you 100 years old, right? Time travel, then you look back with your great-grandchildren and they ask you, hey, Grandpa, all the suffering you did for your why, was it worth it? Right? That would be the best acid test, right? Or, it's like, you're on your deathbed and then, your great-grand ask you, Dad, what should matter for me in life, right? And personally, I know that. mind is to activate people so that they can bring out their unique genius, so that we can elevate, build, and transform our world so that we can transform the world around us. All right? So I hope this serves you, and please feel free to share, and I'm really excited that you're here. And next week, stay tuned, because you don't want to miss this, because this is really, really getting juicy. All right, my friend? Talk to you soon. And again, like I always said, you ready? This is your moment. This is your time. 1, 2, 3. Till next time. Dare to shine, my friend. Dare to shine.